friends, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see, especially long time no see in this setting doing a sit down video. I think it has been probably like a year because I've been doing vlogs in college, but today we're still doing a college related video. You can't see it, but I'm wearing my NYU shirt because this video is going to be me reading the essays that got me in to NYU specifically, also some other colleges. I wanted to make this video because essays these days are like kind of hard to find, especially examples that aren't from like exceptional writers. I'm just a normal girl, like I'm just a girl that applied to college. So I kind of wanted to show you guys what an essay example could look like. Put your own spin to it. You're not me. You don't have to write like I do to get into the same schools. This is just like a nice little guideline of what maybe colleges are looking for, what is accepted by colleges. I have my laptop here. I'm going to start with my Common App essay and then my NYU supplemental essay, and then some extra supplemental essays that I wrote for other schools that you can take, kind of just like a, you know, a little extra example. Obviously, disclaimer, like I don't really know if these essays are exactly what made me stand out in the application process. I have to have somewhat good stats, you know, like extracurriculars. I don't know what made or break my application. Don't think that like if you write exactly this, you're going to get the same results as I did. You might get into some of the schools that I could only dream of getting into, but you also might not get into some other schools. I feel like college applications these days are so randomized that you really cannot grasp it anymore. I wish I would have made this video earlier, but I think the college application process was just so traumatic for me. I had to take a step back and revisit it. So this is a traumatic video for me, but I'm doing this for you guys and for my underclassmen friends. Good luck to everyone applying. I think the Common App just opened not too long ago. I'm sure you guys are already drafting essays, but if you need help, this video is here for you. No more yapping, let's get on with it. I'm gonna hold my laptop here, so just like ignore my glancing down. My Common App essay, I think I ended up I did the one about like a personal challenge and like realization. I worked through that prompt. This was literally draft number 7 that I submitted. I just had to keep brain dumping and writing until I was happy with it. So that's another thing, is like take as much time as you need. Don't think that your first draft is going to be perfect, because it's not going to be, most likely. I'm only reading the first like 2 paragraphs and then the conclusion because it's gonna be too long if I read the whole thing, and obviously like it's a personal statement, so I'm just gonna share the beginning and then the end. Okay, intro. Uncertainty is my biggest enemy. It's been drilled into my head that a simple close-ended question can have 2 responses, yes or no. Because of this, I've strived to be confident in my answers. But as I grew up, I became more unsure of one thing in particular: my identity. Moving back and forth between Taiwan and the US, my environment constantly changed. I had to adapt to a new language, unfamiliar faces, foreign traditions. Nothing in my life was certain. Yada 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 yada. Imagine what you might fill in the middle to make it, you know, a good personal statement, and then here's the conclusion. I still dislike uncertainty, but I now know why it exists: to push us beyond our boundaries, to make us afraid of trying new things but trying them anyway. By conquering my uncertainty, I've been able to meet new people, learn unfamiliar skills, and make valuable connections. A close-ended question doesn't have to be answered with a yes or no. In my case, it's I don't know. With time, that answer could be a yes or no, but for now, I'm content with not being certain. I know the unknown will continue to surround me as long as I live, but if there is one thing I am sure of, it is wanting to show others who I am holistically, no matter how many identities that may be. I'm gonna go through and say what I kind of think I did well and what I wish I could have changed, because I think that's also really important, is to be reflective on your writing. I think one thing that I did well was my conclusion. I loved my conclusion. I think it's really forward-facing and not like dwelling on the past, because that's kind of the point. The prompt is literally how did you face a personal challenge and then overcome it. I think my intro was like okay. It was kind of a good hook, I think. Like maybe it made you want to read more. I don't know, like it was okay. I think the middle was a little bit boring, if I'm being honest. I talked about like meeting exchange students and like talking to them about like their experiences, which is cool, but I think I could have made it even more of like, why was this so life-changing for me, you know? Maybe I could have written better if I was given a little bit more time, a little bit more direction, but it was okay. I think it was fine. Let's move on to my NYU supplemental essay. I love this essay. I'm just gonna say it right now. I think this was one of the best essays that I wrote. What's funny is I literally copied and pasted this from the University of Washington's application. I wrote it for that school first, and then I copied it to NYU, which you can do. That's totally fine. If the prompts are similar, just copy and paste it. Like, it's gonna make your life easier. Oh, the prompt. Let me read the prompt. NYU was founded on the belief that a student's identity should not dictate the ability for them to access higher education. That sense of opportunity for all students, all backgrounds, remains a part of who we are today and a critical part of what makes us a world-class university. Our community embraces diversity in all its forms as a cornerstone of the NYU experience. We would like to better understand how your experiences would help us to shape and grow our diverse community. Action. Growing up, I never understood the importance of a community. Starting at the age of 3, I was constantly on the move. No community was ever really permanent for me. My experiences were different from the rest, and I was isolated. Once the loneliness became too much to bear, I started observing others and saw just how vibrant their mosaics were. The only way for mine to be just as lively was to find communities I could relate to and grow with. From my family, I collect blue pieces of tesserae. Through the ups and downs, I know they will always continue to show love and support as I work towards my goals. As I grow my friendship circle, I gain a piece of yellow tesserae every time they make me laugh. Each school I attend gives me more than just knowledge. They give me a green tesserae to add to my collection, so I know wisdom will carry me throughout my life. Dance continues to give me red. Every time I step out on that stage, passion reignites my body. While other colors continue to fill my mosaic, I can now see a picture starting to form. One that resembles me. Not only will NYU contribute further to my mosaic, I will contribute to NYU's with the diversity of my own mind. Each student at NYU holds values that are unique to them, and I am eager to enhance my thinking and education alongside peers and professors. One thing was that I mentioned what I could do for NYU, but also what NYU could do for me. In there, I kind of sprinkled in like the big pillars, right? I sprinkled in family and friends, which like you're connecting with people in college. That's a really important part of moving away and starting kind of like your own life. I mentioned academics and how I continue to move around schools, and NYU is going to be the next school. Well, okay, at this time I didn't know that, but NYU would be the next school that I'm enhancing my education at. I mentioned dance. I mentioned a passion that didn't have to do with anything but me. Like, that was personal. That was a passion that they could see on my application, but they wouldn't know more of unless I wrote about it. I also talked about how people at NYU hold values that are unique to them. I was kind of hinting, please accept me if these values, you know, align with yours. Usually for the why this school essays, people are just naming clubs, naming professors, and naming classes that they can find on their website, which is like technically what you're supposed to do and what I heard a lot of people doing. And yeah, they got into those schools. So I'm not saying don't do that, but I think this essay, what I did well was it went beyond that. Not once did I mention a specific club name. Not once did I mention a specific professor or a class, because you can see what classes I'm trying to take when I declare my major on the application. So I think it just kind of like went beyond what they're normally seeing, and it kind of just like put my own twist. As I said, I submitted this to UW Seattle and it got me a scholarship. So I think this essay was probably one of the best ones that I wrote, and I am quite proud of it. If that helps you, that's fantastic. If you don't like it, that's okay as well. Finally, I'm going to read extra supplemental materials. I'm going to be reading a University of California supplemental essay and then an Emory University essay. Starting with the UCs, this got me into UC San Diego, UC Santa Barbara. I was waitlisted from UCLA and then rejected from UC Berkeley. Don't know if these essays are what made or break. I personally really liked this essay. I put a lot of effort into my UC applications. They give you 8 prompts for the UC applications. It's a complete separate thing. It is not on the Common App. The essays, they give you 8 prompts and you pick 4. I don't know if that's changed, but that was how it was when I did it. So I picked this one, which was beyond what has already been shared in your application. What do you believe makes you stand out as a strong candidate for admissions to the University of California? This is just kind of like a free-for-all. You can kind of write about anything. Planners are my best friend. The fulfillment that I get from color coding each event and crossing off to-dos is incomparable to any other. People wonder how my life seems to be so put together, but in all honesty, the pressure to follow a strict schedule constantly made me miss out. I obsessed over rehearsal schedules and travel itineraries. As the week passed by, I couldn't remember anything that I had done to get through it. During the COVID-19 pandemic, every day was static. I no longer had a long list of to-dos, no events to fill up my calendar. While a part of me thought that this was the end of the world, a part of me was glad. Glad to finally have a moment to lay in my bed without thinking, to eat dinner with my family every night, to reconnect with old friends via FaceTime. I began to realize the importance of slowing down, of taking in each opportunity and connection I could have with a person. Years later, I haven't let go of that static feeling. I have gone back to filling up my calendar, color coding my list, and attempting to make my life put together. But this time, I'm doing it differently. Homework is no longer busy work. It's an opportunity to make mistakes and learn. Rehearsals aren't a requirement. They are a chance to connect with new members and offer them help. Vacations aren't stressors. They're when I can just enjoy my family's presence. While I do recognize the importance of statistics, I hope I can also stand out on the personal side of things to the University of California. As the campus bustles with students eager to succeed in their future, I will take the opportunity to slow down and interact with them as people. Rather than seeing UC as just a school like I did with my to-dos, I see it as a place where connections are made and opportunities are endless. And I hope you can see it in me too. So that was kind of like an overall essay. I don't know. You don't submit your like personal draft for the UCs, so I kind of had to use their essay prompts as kind of like my personal essay. I know people are like, don't talk about COVID, you know, whatever. I think that was more for a class of 2020 to like 2023. I think now people are probably not really writing about COVID, but I kind of just like mentioned it, and then I wrote about things that had to do with the pandemic, but it wasn't focused on that, if you know what I mean. I don't think this was a COVID essay. It was just me talking about my experiences as like someone who's still learning and who's still kind of growing up and maturing. Like, you can tell I was being genuine, so I think that was kind of the special part of this essay. Last one, Emory University. I also got waitlisted from Emory University. I really liked their like short essay prompts, so I wanted to read one of mine, which was, share about a time that you were awestruck. That was literally the prompt. I think their prompts are really fun. So this one was like supposed to be a short essay. I think it was like 150 to 200 words. If you have short essays that you have to write, here is how you can maximize those words. Looking out the airplane window, my eyes flung wide open. At that time, I didn't know what seemed like little Lego pieces would soon change my perspective on the world. As we landed, the Legos slowly came together, showing me the beauty that was Italy. This was my first time in Europe. And while I've traveled back home to Taiwan before, discovering a hidden world through my own lens was unlike any other experience. The following days were filled with culture shocks, unfamiliar foods, and intricate architecture, yet I was nothing but excited for it all. I was in awe and absorbed everything I could on this trip. While my friends and I were sad to be packing our bags and heading home, I knew I gained something valuable. Here I learned by doing, seeing, and believing. Taking this new perspective home with me, I've transformed the way I learn. Again, I think it was kind of but I think with the little words that I could use, it was pretty good. Like, it had a beginning, it had a middle, it had an end. I liked how I tied it to academics and kind of like transforming the way I learn, and how like learning is global. Like, learning doesn't have to be in a classroom kind of a thing. I think that's what I was going for. And that's all for reading my essay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is a very vulnerable video for me to make, because reading your college essays is like ripping your heart open for the world to see. That was everything that I spent like half of my senior year on and like half of my summer on. That was my pride and joy for months. I know like the process can be so difficult, but I hope this made it just a little bit easier. If you already got into NYU, if you already got into college, congratulations. If you already got into NYU and you're wondering what the school life is like, I filmed a video with 3 of my best friends from college about NYU life. I will link it, or if you just want to go into my page and find it, it should be 2-3 videos down. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will literally be putting this video out ASAP because I'm gonna be vlogging my move-in for sophomore year this weekend, so I need that phone storage, you know. Bye! I love you all so much.